I'm just gonna wait for Autumn to join. Here she is. Girl,
Joss,
how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday, which in lockdown means I'm doing the same thing I do every day. Nothing.
Yeah. What does it even mean, right?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm so nervous I could puke.
Oh my God, I know. Um, Thank you for doing this. Honestly, like I've had so many women message me crying when they read your message and men. And it is such a step forward and it shows people that it's okay and people, will forgive you and change is possible. And um, it's so freaking brave what you did. It is so brave.
Well, I don't see it as brave. I see it as the right thing to do, and I fucked up and I did something that I honestly never thought I would ever do, let alone not even really apologize for. And I'd like to really tell that story. We were on the beach in LA. Autumn was a new friend of mine. And I was singing along to a song, and I said the most awful word a person that looks like me can say. And what's even worse than that is I didn't even really acknowledge it. And I just carried on with my day, and I probably didn't even really think about it after that very much. And I know that you did. And I know that the only thing that I can do is be honest about my own shortcomings of my own knowledge and the things that I, should have learned earlier. And I'm really sorry that it's taken us this long. Um, and I just wanted to own it and to apologize to your face. And I wish I could do it in person. And apologize to all the hurt that I've caused by using that word. And I still don't really, I will never fully understand, and I'm really grasping the depths of that right now. And yeah, I'm really, really sorry that you had to sit with that.
Thank you. Just to fill everyone in um, on what happened. So Joss and I are both singer-songwriters, and I met her when she moved here, and I just instantly fell in love with her. And not only her talent, but just she just is an outspoken, fun woman. And I love both women who are not quiet about things. And we were hanging out a lot. Like, so we went to the beach and we're playing some tunes. And actually, Joss introduced me to one of my favorite artists now. It was an Anderson .Paak song.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually one of my favorite songs now to this day. And I never heard it before. And but that was my first time hearing it. when
Awesome.
when you screamed out the word on the beach. And where I'm from, I'm from the South Bronx. I'm from the hood. I'm from the projects. Like, I grew up really poor. And where I'm from in the hood, like if that was Orchard Beach or Coney Island, like the first thing that went in my mind was like, we're about to get fucked up.
Right.
And I was like, Joss, if this was where I'm from, they would beat your ass and I can't defend you. Like, I can't protect you against 10 people, They might beat me too. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I had so many. So I would, that, despite all of that, all of my feet, all of my hurt, the first feeling that came to me was to protect you
Yeah.
because I was so concerned for your safety. Because that's just the instinct I have of like, oh my God, we're gonna get fucking. And then I realized we're in LA and no one cares really. It's just so no one's even paying attention. But so once I realized we were not in danger, I just was like, I actually had to take a few minutes and calm down because like it's something I work on is not being when I'm over emotional, it's not communicated properly and people don't
Yeah.
receive it. So I really try hard to just be calm, state my facts, and try to speak eloquently. And I tried. So I was like, "Hey, Joss, like, just want to let you know, like, you really can't say that word. Like, it's just like really inappropriate, blah blah." And and I don't know if you remember this, but your response was, "But I like how it makes me feel." And I just was like a bit dumbfounded because I was like, "Well, then how does it make you feel?" And I know you're from Canada and you're not from a country built on, you know, what we are built on here. And
Well, not really, but really the same shit, you know?
yeah, and I just was like, I don't know if she understands when I hear that word from a white person, it's a reminder that at one point in time, I would have been a slave.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in time, I would have probably been getting raped. At my mom is a Jewish white woman, my father is black. Like, it was illegal for me to be born not that long ago. You know, when my mom was born, it was illegal for her to be with my father. Illegal. Like, the idea of this is just so fucking crazy to me. Like, how can it be illegal for two humans to be together? And when I hear that word, it just reminds me of no matter that I feel I'm the same as my friends, the world hasn't. And it just snaps me back into so much like sadness and like, fuck, you know, I'm in LA and I'm on the beach and I'm doing music and all this, but there, yeah, I'm still just a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
trying to survive in America. And it kind of like erases everything. And of course, like, this isn't the first time I've been in this situation, but this is the first time I've ever gotten an apology. And this is the first time I've not gotten this from family members, and that's why I really admire you for it, because I wish I would have gotten it from a lot of people. And what you did is, I understand how big it is what you did, because there's people with my own blood in them and they won't do the same thing. And um, you have given me hope that it is possible. And I encourage other people, other black people, if their friends are seeing a different way, like, I can't tell you what's in your heart, but like, I encourage you to open your heart to them, because not everybody knows and not everybody was raised the same. And a lot of my white friends have racist parents, and they're not racist to me, but I can see that they were raised a different way and they struggle with what they were raised with, and it comes out in little things. And we have open conversations about it, and then they have to go home for the holidays with their racist family, and then come back to their multicultural group of friends. And I have the same family. I don't speak to most of my family, well, they don't want to speak to me, so that's kind of how it works. But like, I just want to say, like, if this is a movement, and we've never had a moment like this in our generation. Or you know if you're feeling like you have something to say and you're sorry for something you did and it's been on your mind, like, freaking do it. Just say it. Like, open your heart to people, because everybody wants to come together. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants love. Everyone wants unity. Nobody wants to go home thinking people don't want them. I want my kids to play with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want all my friends to be my sisters. It's just, we deserve that.
Mm-hmm. I have to acknowledge that I said that because I have a really hard time like accepting that, because it's now knowing what I know and also knowing my character and knowing my heart, it's just like ignorance is so dangerous. And it really leads to a lot of other dark shit that wouldn't be there otherwise. And I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing how you know, just the other day I was speaking to an Indigenous close friend of mine, and she, you know, she reminded me and called me out hard, saying, you know, you talk about racism in America all the
Mm,
time, but you don't talk about it here, and you don't really know what's going on here.
mm,
And it's conversations like that that I've been so grateful for right now. And granted, I have not been in this country for 5 years. In my country, I'm now back living in Canada. And so I chose to educate myself in the last 2 years, basically, like, pretty heavily on this kind of stuff, because I was seeing it in America in such a, you know, my brother also reminded me it's easier to see there in a lot of ways too, just based on the population and based on the amount of people and based on, you know, all those things. But I have so much work to do, you know, and in so many ways my life has been affected in the positive by this, for being a white person, you know. And so now it's like, I really think it's up to us to first have these conversations, do the education, and then figure out how we can take that privilege and fucking hand it back where we can, you know.
mm.
And so if anyone here has ideas of that, I'm trying to reach out to artists that I can collaborate with that wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. Any artists that are stuck as artists, I'm really good at encouraging people. Like, I don't know what we need to do, but I'm really, really excited to continue this conversation after this, you know?
Absolutely. I think, you know, first of all, I want to say Jocelyn is an amazing artist. She's a beautiful singer, beautiful writer. And I think what makes her such an authentic artist is the fact that she is able to have this conversation, and authenticity is the key to being a great artist. And I've been looking at a lot of artist pages, especially aspiring artists who are just looking to release music. And I'm seeing some of them are really quiet. And what scares me about that is I don't think these artists are going to make it. And I think that if you are so scared and so unsure to post like this, how are you going to be a messenger to the world? You have no chance. And your music, you're pursuing this more out of narcissism, less as, you know, to make music is to give. And it's a
Service.
gift. It's a service. It is not to take. This is a service. This is something we are giving. We are giving our hearts. We're giving our emotions. We're giving our soul. We're giving our experience. We're giving everything we have. If these artists don't have that, I honestly see no future for them. And it's funny. I'm going through their pages like, not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. I mean, it sounds really bad, but I'm like, how are you
Well,
gonna make it?
and thank God for that, right? Because, you know, you and I spoke yesterday in private, and we were talking about how, like, we're so grateful for that, because it means like real artists are finally rising to the top, and people are, I think the audience especially is really like, they have this new radar for authenticity, and it's really, really cool to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And then I see artists like Billie Eilish, you know, I love her, and like all the messages, she's getting so many hate messages, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Hate on her all day. She's headed for greatness.
Yeah.
Like, this is why she's touched the world, you know, like, and I really cannot stand when people say stuff like, just dribble the ball, don't get into politics, or just sing a song, don't get into politics. And what do you think? We're like little puppets?
Yeah. That's exactly what they think.
It's incredibly offensive, and
Exactly
it
what
just
they think.
shows how people don't understand the intention behind why you become an artist.
Yeah. That's, and it's funny to me, because when you say, you know, as an artist, if you don't say something, you're not going to make it. It's like, if you don't say something, how are you an artist?
Right.
Like, we're here to speak, and speak beautifully, and make art, and fucking say something that matters.
Right.
And if you don't, there have been so many people I've been unfollowing. There have been so many messages I've been sending to people being like, you gonna post about this at all? Or should I unfollow you? Because it's just a very black and white line to me now. You know what I mean? It's like, you're either
Yeah,
on this side or you're on that side. And you're either gonna do it publicly and you're gonna do it fiercely, or you're not.
I agree. I agree. I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations. There's someone in particular who has booked me for gigs, and I saw a post that was quite offensive. It was never any Black Lives Matter post. It was just a post about like, how can you assemble for this? But like a week ago, you couldn't, you were afraid of COVID or something, like just completely dismissing like what's going on in
Right.
the world. So I'm going to address this person personally and give them a chance to, I don't know, fix it. And if not, I'm going to say, I need you to fix it, but also make a donation to a Black Lives Matter fund. I know this person can't afford it. I'll put it that way. I need you to make a contribution for what you have posted to fix it. And if they refuse to, that's it. We're done.
Yeah. Well, and you said it so beautifully in our call yesterday when you were like, yeah, like, and I posted about it. I had to yesterday after our conversation, because it was like, yeah, like they're protesting despite there being a deadly virus. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, think about that. And the way that you explained that to me just like hit me in it. I thought about it all day.
Wow. It's true. Like, I haven't left my house for 3 months.
Yeah.
I've not left my block. I'm a germaphobe. It's a neurotic thing. I work on it. It's not great. I don't have a car. I don't have a driver's license. I literally do not leave my street. The first time I left my house was to go to the protest. And that's my first time seeing a group of people, which is overwhelming. I wore freaking goggles. I had 2 masks on. Let me say, I just also need to shout out the medical workers in the world, because walking in goggles and mask for 3 hours felt like one of the hardest things I've had to do in my life. I'm not kidding you. My face was sweating in the goggles. I was finding it hard to breathe. It was 95 degrees outside. I was overwhelmed, and I'm just walking. I can't imagine what this feels like, trying to save a life.
For hours and hours and weeks and months.
I cannot imagine, and I just can't. There's no way I can ever repay what the medical people are doing for us. I just need to say that. Like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the first time, and the protest was so beautiful and so peaceful. And you know what? It was mostly white people. And I just felt so seen. Because I honestly feel like all these people are marching for me personally. Like, I felt so supported. And that's something I've never felt in my life.
Yeah.
Ever felt in my life. Like, it's just such a weird thing too, working in music. Like, because it's so weird. Like, a lot of people see you for your talent, or like your looks or whatever. But those are all superficial things. Very few people see you for you.
Yeah.
And this is like the first time I feel like a lot of people are like, oh shit.
Yeah. What does that feel like? Must be really overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and it feels very freeing, and it feels very it feels like I can breathe. It feels like, okay, wow. I have to say, like, when Trump won the presidency, I have never felt more invisible in my life. Never. Because I just said, wow, the majority of people voted for someone who thinks I don't matter, who thinks me as a woman and me as a person of color is not as significant as their life. And that was so fucking painful.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? So it's like, I don't care if you're a Democrat, whatever, like Republican. I honestly don't give a shit. But the thing is, the hard thing about what's happening now is that it's an awakening for so many people. But 4 years ago, we all felt this. The people that were so afraid of this were feeling this exact feeling right now, but they felt it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And had to go through this whole situation now. And if that's what it took for us to get here, then that's what it took. But like, it's just, yeah, it's just the past, you know, few years of feeling completely invisible, and now all of a sudden people can see, and it's just like a overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you didn't vote for him. Thank you. I know you
Oh my
can't
gosh,
vote.
I was living I was actually had just moved to America in Nashville and
Yeah.
realized, holy fuck, I live in a Republican state. And like it was just, you know, it's a big reason I moved back home too.
Yeah.
I just, especially, I mean, the pandemic happened, you know, and um, when I first moved to Los Angeles from Nashville, um, I had had this terrible psoriasis breakout. I don't know if I was talking to you at that time, but
I
my
remember this.
yeah, my skin was like I get it really, really bad every few years, and so I had spent, you know, 3 or 4 visits to the doctor like the moment that I basically got to LA, and it was like $1,400 American that I'd spent just to get drugs that then made me even more sick, and so I had to go. Like it was just like, and just the feeling in that clinic, you know, I was like, yeah, it's not the same here. They don't they don't like it's just different. It's just a different thing. And like, yeah, I don't understand how you can possibly tell me that it's like the land of the free and all this shit when it's like you don't even like take care of your people. And to now see the memes coming out that are saying, you know, the police officers aren't complaining about having enough gear. They seem to have lots of bullets and tear gas for
Yeah.
children even. But you know, don't help out the medical people with like, it's just like priorities people, you know. And I really, like, as a woman, I felt what you're saying on a very small scale. I can't even imagine as a Black woman.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how you felt.
It was devastating. It was devastating. Especially people that like work with you or like, you
Yeah.
know, want to hide, like I coach their kids or like something like that. I'm like, do you understand where all this sauce comes from? Like, how
Right.
you how you gonna, you know, use all this and then like go and be like, we're gonna use you, but actually we want you to die, because that's what it feels like, you know, like it's
That's
just
it.
unbelievable.
Disposable, you know. And yeah,
Disposable.
someone just commented saying they're a nurse and they can't get the gear, and it's just, that's just really hard to fucking, like, it's hard to understand that.
It's so hard to understand that. How in the world can, I mean, what were the police budgets like? They're so high. They're so high, and the lack of training.
Yeah.
My friend was telling me today in Norway, police get 4 years of training, and here it's just a few months. It's
Wow.
just a, it's unbelievable. Like it's like 6 months or something here.
Well, and we're really seeing that with the way that they're handling things. It's fucking horrifying.
Horrifying, 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 horrifying. And you know, they've been doing, now everyone, they're under the microscope. And what's so scary is like, you know, they've been getting away, you know, they've been getting away with killing Black people for so long. But because everyone's home with corona and no one's working and everyone's just paying attention, and it's so weird. It's like the first time ever that we're all so separated but all so united. We're all in the same situation of like home. You
Yeah.
know, we were all afraid of COVID and we're all exactly where we are. And then never ever in the history of the world have we all had the same one problem at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, not in our lifetime,
Yeah.
you know, not since like the Spanish flu or something. But like, you know, this is the first time we've all literally had the same problem at the same time. This is not China's problem. This is not Canada's. This is not the UK. This is literally the whole world's problem. So we're all united. And then George Floyd happens. And for the first time, it wasn't a Black people's problem. This was everyone's problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I got to be honest, when people were reacting so strong to it, I was a bit confused because I was like, but this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Why do you care now for the first time? Like, this is constantly an outrage, and I just was like, oh, it's because they're forced to pay attention.
Yeah.
And now we're all feeling this together, and it's just such an overwhelming year.
Yeah.
It's like the year of the mirror, the year of the awakening, and some people are ready for it, some people are not.
Yeah, and I think I don't really give a fuck. Get ready.
I love it.
Or kind of be left behind. Like, that's where I'm at, is like, get on the train, dude, because it's moving and it's been moving, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with me. It's like not what you need to do, and I know that so many people have already, like, same thing, reached out to me just saying how powerful they think this is, and like it's just been a real gift to me, Autumn. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say to any white people listening, right now, like, I don't know if you guys ever read, like, Blink, or like The Tipping Point, or Malcolm Gladwell, know how this stuff works, but like, right now, like, you guys are the messengers, and this is so important because I only have a certain amount of outreach and people that are going to listen to me, and I have like a very similar, like-minded group of people that I just energy wise can only be around. But like, a lot of you guys have way more, you can reach more people than I can, and honestly, it doesn't matter if it's one fucking person.
Yeah.
If it's one fucking person, I'm a massive believer in you can change the world through one person. I love that book, like Seven Habits of a Highly Effective People. They talk a lot about that as well. And like, you don't have to be like a big advocate. You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to be famous. That's not how this works. It's because, like, my mom is one person. She gave birth to me, right? But I have now influenced hundreds of people through, or thousands, through music, through activism, through speaking around colleges all around the world. There's a lot of kids I coach that I'm the only Black woman they know, and the only Black woman they know is a positive, strong person that they look up to. And that's my power of influence. And just do your outreach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if it's just one person you reach or you try to communicate with. You have no idea how much that person can then change the next person. And if one thing we've learned from COVID is shit spreads.
Shit spreads.
Shit spreads, okay? Good or bad, shit spreads, and shit's contagious. So positivity is contagious, enlightenment is contagious, and it's just how you choose to spread it, and who you choose to put in your circles. And I do kind of think that at a certain point, the ones who don't want a better world for everyone are going to be the minority.
Yep.
And are going to get left behind and are just going to get more bitter and angry, sadly. But
yeah, and fearful.
Yeah. But I think space might be opening up. Might be.
Well, I'm gonna say, have the balls to talk to your own fucking family with love, because I've been having a lot of really uncomfortable conversations in my family right now, and that's where the real work is, I'm seeing, So all these people that want to do all this shit, it's like, talk to your brother, talk to your sister, talk to your dad, talk to whoever is close to you, and I've already seen change with that.
Wow, really? With your family?
Have. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to say who, but one person in my family started with one view and is now, he's getting it.
Really? Can I ask what you say, or what did you do?
He was posting about All Lives Matter, and I just think it's embarrassing and wrong. And I decided that, as now that I am an ally all the time, I'm going to do that. So I just asked him why, and the thing is that he has such a massive heart that he's coming from like a place of love, but it's also a place of ignorant love, which isn't really love. And so I just, I just explained my view, and I just started sending him things, you know, because I've also realized that there's so many powerful visuals out there right now that can say so much more than we're able to.
Yeah.
And like, know your audience. Like, some people like to verbally communicate, and that's awesome. And if you're not getting through, then try something else and keep trying, you know? So at first he was very hesitant and didn't want to talk to me at all. And I was just like, well, that's not going to work anymore. We're not going to live like that anymore. And if that's what's going to happen, then you're not going to have me in your life. And I know that's not what you want. So let's have this conversation.
Right.
And then just yesterday, I posted something saying it's a privilege to educate yourself on racism rather than experience it, which I think is so powerful. And he sent me a text and said, wow. And I just was like, what's up? Is this hitting you? You know? And he's like, yeah, like wow. This really hit me, you know? And like, that's enough for me. I'm like, cool.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, and I was shaking. I was so afraid because in my family, like, we don't have conversations. We just stop talking to each other for years. We don't sit down and talk. Like, we don't do that in my family, really. And I just, you know, I was so scared of losing him because that's been, you know, my past. And I just realized, like, I'd rather lose anyone that I love if I can't openly tell you the truth, and especially tell you when you're hurting people.
Yeah.
It's so simple, you know?
I want to say also to, like, a lot of Black people hurting, a lot of people that are saying mean things are good people inside.
Yeah, I believe that.
I don't think these are evil people necessarily. I mean, there are, of course, some evil people, but not all of them are. And it's not our job to teach them by any means. But, so yesterday, this is a good example, like just how to be an ally. Like yesterday, I was on Facebook, and this artist, kind of that fits in that box we were talking about earlier. You know which box that is. And
Artist.
Yeah. And she just was posting some horrible, like really inconsiderate things about the looting, and like talking about, you know, how can you protest now when you were stuck inside the other day. Yet 2 weeks ago she was posting, why are you staying inside when COVID isn't real? I mean, it just, like, she just goes back and forth, you know, and I'm just like, what an inconsistent being to be calling yourself an artist. So I commented and I said, look, people are protesting because despite COVID, you know, their fear of dying and fear for their friends and families of dying from something else is bigger than a pandemic. Like, do you understand what that means? And she just was not, she couldn't have a conversation, to the point where she kept deleting the post, because every time I'd ask her something, I was like, so I asked, like, a lot of things I like to have like a base understanding. So I'm like, do you believe in systematic racism? Couldn't answer me. She just answers, I have Black friends, you know, and stuff like that. So I stopped talking. And then a good friend, a manager, spoke on my, so she deleted all the posts, and then he wrote a long post on my defense. And he goes, you know, Autumn Rowe is a singer, songwriter, and you completely dismissed her. You completely disregarded her. You wouldn't have a conversation with her. You only shut her down. And then they got into it personally on DMs. And I just said, that's what I'm talking about. That's an ally. Yeah. And we gotta also do this. Like, and by the way, I'm not just an ally for Black people. I'm Jewish. I'm an ally for Jewish people. I'm an ally for Asian people. I'm an ally for LGBTQ. I'm an ally for anybody, because if you disrespect that, if you don't think that person deserves the same rights you do, then you don't think I deserve the same rights. And until we're all equal, we're not all equal. So, like, it's so important. And I just think, like, we have to stop giving passes. Like, if you hear someone make a little remark, you know, oh, that's gay, or she's whatever, like, to be like, yo, bro, like, don't say that, please. That's not cool. You know, like, stop giving passes to people. And it's awkward and it's uncomfortable, and they might get defensive, but they're going to stop doing it when they keep getting corrected and feeling like the asshole in the room.
Yeah. And it's more awkward to be a piece of shit that just goes along with it. Like, let's start viewing that as awkward.
Yeah.
Like, we need to start viewing awkwardness as an opportunity rather than like this thing to be afraid of. It's bullshit.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, it sucks because like I'll be honest, I do it a lot. I correct people a lot, and it what they don't realize is when I do it, it ruins my whole week.
Yeah.
And I right before I do it, I ask myself, do you want to have a bad week or not? But then I say, do I want to do something greater than myself or not? And I just sacrifice feeling good. I literally feel like shit the whole week. I'm just like down, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm like in a bad mood. I keep thinking about it over and over in my head. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not easy to do that, especially when you're having to do it probably again and again, you know?
again
Exhausting.
and again, and it's just like such a downer, you know. And my friend Kelly sent me something that was really good. It was this man, and he was saying a lot of people are having a hard time with this because they identify themselves with being good people. And when you're a good person, you would never say anything hurtful or harmful, or how could you possibly see your friend in pain and just not acknowledge it? Because that's not what a good person does. So that a lot of this is like challenging their self-identity of how they see themselves. And that is a very difficult thing to do, you know. But it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you have a lot to learn. And
Yeah.
trust me, people, like, this is the opportunity. Like, take it.
Hmm.
Take it. We are open and we are ready, and we want a beautiful world of change. So like, don't feel embarrassed and don't feel bad and don't feel, yes, okay, feel embarrassed, but like know that it's going to be forgiven, and know what's in your heart, and like authenticity, just be authentic with whatever it is. Be 100% you, and that is the best beautiful thing you can do. I've seen some people ask, oh, you're saying yes, ask questions. Yes. Do you guys have any questions for us in the comments? Do we
I
see the same?
always, yeah, I always forget that people are like talking to me on this. I'm always like, I completely forget there's people watching this. It's great.
This is the second time I've ever done an IG live. So
They always make me want to shit my pants because I'm like, oh God, like, what am I going to say this time, you know?
yeah. I'm not very good at this. This is literally the second time I've ever done it. I've been seeing people like type things and stuff. I just don't know if they have any questions or anything.
Yeah, move past the guilt and embarrassment and take action. That's exactly what I'm trying to do here right now, you know what I mean? And that's the thing is I don't feel like it's brave to look someone in the eye and say like you've done wrong and try to move forward. And I also don't think that you can really move forward
Mm-hmm.
until you've done that. Like it's just very simple to me now, you know? You've got to own your shit. We got to start anew, and if we're actually going to do that, then like you need to accept what we've done wrong here, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, another thing, like a lot of people, I, okay, I want to ask you a question, Joss. Like, so when our situation happened, you didn't really think about it, right?
I definitely was embarrassed, and I'm horrified that I followed it up with what I said because like that's hard for me to picture, knowing myself and knowing that I know that even as ignorant as I was at that point, I knew the hurt, you know?
Okay.
And I also like I played in a band with an East Indian girl for almost 8 years. Like I saw firsthand her experience. I
Okay.
lived it with her, right? Not with her, but I saw through her eyes how it affected her, time and time and time again. You know,
Okay.
and that's the biggest reason why I'm so horrified by it is because I have, especially a woman. You know, I've
Mm.
seen, I've seen, I've seen. So I have the worst memory in the world. I don't remember saying that. I can't believe I said that.
Mm.
That's even worse than the first thing I said to me, honestly.
It's okay.
I don't remember that. That's like horrifying.
It's all
And I also
understood.
know that if I did say something as dumb as that, it came from sheer embarrassment. And
Probably.
that's unfortunate that I didn't have the courage in that moment to own the fact that like I was really embarrassed and really ashamed. And I was
Mm.
aware of those things on some level, you know?
I know you were, because so basically, guys, after someone just asked what's happened, I guess they're just new to the convo. We were on the beach listening to Anderson Paak. Joss said a word she shouldn't have said. We had a convo. We're talking about it for the first time. Just made up our friendship after like 3 years this week because she sent a beautiful message and all is forgiven and she's super dope. That's where we're at. Someone was like, fill me in, what's happening? Yeah, because so basically like after the beach, we went to go eat at the village.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember like we were in the car the whole time with like those two dudes. I forgot who they are. And like the whole time in the car, my mind was just trying to think of what can I say
Yeah.
to how do I communicate better? What am I not doing? Like how do I do this? You know, the whole ride. I was like, ugh. So then I was like, okay. Then we go eat, and I'm like, I brought it up again, and I was like, so I need to talk to Joss about what happened at the beach. And then you did say, you were like, I do understand. You said, I can't remember exactly, of course, but you were like, I could tell that you understood on some level. So then I was like even a little bit more confused because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So I knew you were like, you're not like oblivious, you know?
No, I'm not. That's why it's extra. It's just, yeah, it's embarrassing.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree. Kelly says we should send this to Fox News, but
yeah, let's do it.
oh yeah, because this is exactly the kind of content they want.
Yeah, I know. I know what kind of headline they turn it into. Fucking ass.
Right. Please.
Yeah, it's for someone that like I do try to call myself aware, you know, and I do try to like really understand people's positions and understand like true empathy is really, really important to me, you know? I just, when I really sit back and think about like the depths of this, I can't fathom it. And I also can't fathom that I've never truly spent a week of my life trying to fathom that and how fucking embarrassing that is.
Wow. I know. It's hard.
I've thought about it. I've done a lot of research in the last couple of years about this topic. I think just living in LA and especially in Nashville, seeing the gun culture there was just having, you know, a Black friend of mine be told in Nashville, like, don't go out at night in this area. Like, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What year is it, man? Like the first week that I was in Nashville, I go in to buy groceries. The first week I'm in America, okay? And I'm wearing this scarf around my neck. And I walk in and the guy's like, are you a terrorist? And I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
what? Are you wow. Oh my
And this
God.
was my face, you know? I was like, why would you say that to me? And he was like, well, you're turban. Ha ha ha. And it was so awkward. And like, I sat in that with him and he could see my face and he was like, what did I say? And I was like, dude, you said so many fucking things. You need to get on a computer and Google some shit before you speak. I am horrified for you right now. And just the fact that like his face, he did not know that what he said was wrong. It's like, it's so deep, dude. And I've been a part of that problem too. And it's just like, it's in the same way that men need to stand for feminism because they have caused a lot of these problems. We need to stand for Black people, for Indigenous people in Canada, for all fucking races that are not white. Because let's be honest, like we just have it better.
Absolutely. I've created this saying during this week, and it's if your problem is my problem, we have no problems. And the second we all start living like that, the world will just be incredible in every situation, between diseases, between animals, between racism, between every single climate change. Every single problem we have is because someone's problem was not their problem. Therefore, we did not give the energy it needed to solve it. And now the world is really, really taking a deep look at itself, and it's so fucking painful.
Mm-hmm.
So painful. But I'm so glad we're here right now.
I know.
They said this was the year that 2020 was canceled, but 2020 is the most important year of our lives.
Yeah, it's pretty ironic, but not at all, you know?
Not at all. Matt Gregory says that was his problem as a white male. Um, Let us know, Matt. Give us type us some info. Fill us in. Drop some gems.
I'm loving these comments though. Wow, this is so great.
Absolutely. Like I talk to these like singer influencer girls, and I think they're in Nashville, and they've never posted about anything like Black Lives Matter or anything. And this week, they did, and they said we've been talking all week. And mind you, these are people I've never met in person. I just know them from Instagram, and they were scared to post because they posted or did something once before that was like ethnic related, and someone tried to run her over with a car. And this was like a white, beautiful blonde girl, and she's scared. And I'm like, 2020, like, this is crazy. You're afraid to get run over because you're just speaking about equal human rights, you know?
Yeah.
But she did it. And
Good for her.
she's gotten more bold this week. And she is afraid.
That's the thing is it does come with a new responsibility and a new fear and a new like new enemies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to even say that because it's I don't understand that, but
Matt Gregory says, I think that recognizing that facts exist is the first step. I fully admit that as a shirt guy, I was born into the world, and I was born into this world that was handed to me.
I think you meant white.
Oh, I was like,
But sure, we'll call him a shirt guy.
I was like, I don't know that term, but yes, as a white guy.
Well, and I like thank you for saying this, Matt, because I've been sending messages to all my white male, like literally everyone that I know who has not posted to say what the fuck. And I'm just so glad to see like more people talking about it that look like you because
Mm-hmm.
hi, welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
So happy to
And
see
you know,
here.
you might burn some bridges with some people over this.
Yeah.
Of being a human rights activist, which is so fucking ridiculous, but you might burn some bridges, but you know what? We're about to build a whole bunch of new ones. And it's totally okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to be even better. So burn them, burn them, burn them. Goodbye. I'm okay with those relationships going away.
Yeah. I know I was so nervous to put this out there, but it was like, why? Because you're afraid of what like people are gonna think. Like it's the truth. And also if people want to like have a problem with me doing this, like see you later. You know, like you're right. Like I'm okay with all those people going off my page so I can build all those new bridges. Like I love how you said that. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Do you follow Seth Rogen?
No, but I've heard about him like calling out people online and shit, and I'm loving it. And he's saying he's gonna like take his movies away. I'm like, that is so brilliant.
Like that's something racist. So I was watching his feed. I was like, holy moly. He was like, you don't fucking deserve my movies. Unwatch my shit. Like,
that's what we need, dude.
He's just like, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like he's off on so many people. He doesn't care what he's gonna not make like he doesn't care if those people don't watch his movies.
No, fuck you.
Seriously. I was like, damn, I need to buy all the Seth Rogen now. Shit.
I know. And fucking Ben and Jerry's.
You know, Ben and Jerry's have stay woke. Like through the elections, they are very, very conscious and very aware. Like I've gained a lot of weight because of their political stance. Like Ben and Jerry's.
You work it, girl. You work it. Well, I will say that I want to keep these going.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing another one next week with the friend, my Indigenous friend Cheyenne that I've been telling you guys about. It's going to be so awesome, and I'm going to own all that shit that I said to her now. It's going to be great. Autumn, if you want to keep it going with other people, like, I think it could be
I'm
so
open.
cool.
Yeah, I'm open. Anyone that wants to talk about it, I'm super open. You know, I have nothing but forgiveness to give, so I'm here.
Well, we are grateful for that, and your grace is a beautiful thing to share with the world.
Thank you, Joss. Thank you for being the example.
Oh
Honestly.
my God. I'm just trying to help it along, you know?
A lot of people should aspire to be you right now. A lot of people. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, girl.
Love you, girl.
I love you too. Happy belated birthday. It's
Thank
just
you.
Autumn's birthday. Send her some love.
Thank you.
And stay in touch, okay?
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye, girl.